Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Atomic Heart. After years in development hell, we've split the atom and Russian Bioshock is here. Was this game worth the wait? Let's find out. Atomic Heart is a third-person shooter with a focus on a large amount of customization with melee and gunplay, as well as its gorgeous and unique aesthetic. You play as P3, an operative sent to the city of the future powered by polymer, a tech substance that creates incredible robots and AI. Of course, the robots basically revolt the second after you show up, so you've got to kill them and figure out what the hell's going on. The story is much less interesting than its setting, with the bits of environmental storytelling by far the most engaging portions, which is good because the story and voice acting itself are pretty bad, but more on that later. The main loop here is split into two sections, linear portions and the open world segments that connect them. The linear segments often end up being objective based, usually around finding objects in the world to put in something to move on, with even the main character commenting how annoying this is, or one of the many puzzle zones scattered across the map that house bonus upgrades. Speaking of the map, the open world segments are generally fairly empty. The main purpose of these zones is to explore to find components for crafting, in addition to discovering the aforementioned puzzle zones, going to where you need to go to continue the story, and of course letting you soak up that great environment. On upgrades, there is a ton. P3 is equipped with a talking techno glove, which not only can suck up resources like a vacuum, which you will be doing a lot, but can also be granted a bunch of powers should you have the polymer. These range from freezing, shielding, zapping, or lifting whole groups up into the air. Polymer also upgrades your core kit, such as health, movement, and inventory space. Weapons are constructed and upgraded with the resources you find, with more substantial upgrades like new barrels or sights having to be found via blueprints. Most improvements can be upgraded themselves as well, allowing for a lot of customization. Additionally, most weapons can have a canister attachment tacked on, allowing you to add elemental damage to your attacks. You'll be using this in a lot of fairly standard gunplay, though what mostly spices it up is being able to use abilities on enemies while shooting at them, a la Bioshock 2, and the enemies aren't all robots, though most of them are robots. You also fight mutated humans, and of course big bad bosses that require specific strategies to take down. Most units also have elemental weaknesses, so building a diverse kit can make situations easier. And that is basically Atomic Heart, and if this sounds a lot like Bioshock or the recent Prey games, that's because it was clearly modeled after those, even if Atomic Heart lacks a lot of those games' polish. So what exactly did I like about Atomic Heart? Well, the game's aesthetic is just phenomenal. A great mix of atomic era 1950s with communist USSR that blends surprisingly well and looks gorgeous. Additionally, the mix and match toolkit approach on combat worked well in Bioshock, and it works well here, with the game generously providing full refunds on everything should you reset, encouraging you to respec whenever you feel like it. And lastly, the game is always pushing you forward into new stuff with different aesthetics and great environmental storytelling, which made me want to keep playing. When it comes to the bad, this game's difficulty is frustratingly all over the place. On any difficulty besides easy, the enemies are way too bullet spongy, enemies in the open world respond way too quickly, and the difficulty seems to fluctuate randomly between zones, which meant I always felt either over or underprepared, never reaching that sweet spot. I'll be honest and say that I switched to easy after dabbling back and forth with difficulties and had a much better time overall. Additionally, the story and the dialogue in particular are just terrible. The main character is an edgelord who never shuts up or stops swearing. The weirdly sexual upgrade machine is funny at first but gets tired fast, and the story's pacing is just all over the place. And lastly, there's just a ton of jank game design here, from open worlds feeling unnecessary and empty, to having to vacuum up everything, to a myriad of weird bugs, to the insanely bland fetch quests. It's never awful, but it certainly feels very rough. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, and don't bother. I think Atomic Heart is a maybe consider. It's not a mess, but it is messy. That being said, it's a game I kept playing because I wanted to see the next imaginative thing they pull off. So if you have Game Pass, it's an easy recommend for you to at least try, but if you're looking to buy it, I would say wait for a sale. Atomic Heart is a game with an incredible aesthetic, decent gameplay, and an awful story, and if that works for you, give it a look. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Have you played Atomic Heart? What do you think about it? Please let me know in the comments, and then go out there and give it a look.